Welcome, everyone. This is Pound Mules, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at latest news in LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week, I am joined by Krister.
Hello.
Hello there, Krister. How's everything going?
Pretty good. The holidays are an exciting time of the year, and it's been really exciting.
Right. Then let's see what we have in the way of updates, because we had an update 42.2, and there are a couple of big announcements with that. This was released on Wednesday, December 4th. And of special note is that the Mines of Moria have arrived onto their 64-bit Veil of the Nine Worlds, Angmar and Mordor. In the deeps of Moria, another power lurks, and even the Nazgul hesitate to intrude upon its domain. The servants of this nameless horror are great in number, and among them particularly vicious hunters and assassins that have taken note of the intrusions upon their ruined halls. These skilled enemies now stalk in search of prey, often striking from the darkness without warning, and explorers are cautioned to take care not to fall victim to their cunning. The Iron Garrison has formed a bounty hunters guild, placing marks upon these goblins and orc assassins, and are offering rewards for their elimination. The representatives of this guild can be found in the 21st Hall. Where else, of course? Because the Mines of Moria have arrived on Angmar and Mordor, the level cap of the 64-bit Legendary Worlds is now 60, and further chapters of the epic story are now available. And you can read more about the 64-bit Legendary Worlds on a link that's in the story. So in the link from the link.
And the link from the link.
Right, because I'm linking to the release notes, and the release notes have a link to the bit about the 64-bit worlds and all. Just saying, yippity doo.
So you're saying link, eggs, and link.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yes. That's right. I guess looking for Zelda or something. I don't know. So
Thought I
here.
overwhelmed you with my Monty Python reference there. So
Okay. Anyway, Mines of Moria is now out on there, and supposedly you'll be running into orc assassins instead of raids while you travel through there. Now, I've not had a chance in order to go inside of Moria yet. I did hear one person saying that those orc assassins, when they arrive, can be tough to fight. So I guess that's a bit of a warning to me that when I finally get into Moria, because right now I'm just doing those last few prep quests in order to be ready to head on inside.
well, and I wonder how they arrive as well. Is it like, hey, my back is kind of hurting? Oh wait, there's two knives protruding from it. I wonder if they ambush you by just emerging out of stealth.
Well, I don't know. I know that when the raids appear, you start to feel a nasty presence for about 10 seconds before the raid actually arrives, because it takes them to spawn in and all that stuff. So I don't know if it's going to be the same way with the assassins, as they come out of stealth, ready to come at you. I suspect, though, if you just immediately attack them, that, well, you're not going to kill them that quickly.
Right.
Now, in addition to the legendary worlds, the 64-bit legendary worlds reaching level 60, the other legendary server, Treebeard, has reached level 105. Yes, the slow leveling legendary world called Treebeard has now reached Fara, Norian, and the Wastes, including a new level cap of 105. And you read more about Treebeard, of course, also on Lotro.com. And what also has arrived are the Yuletide Hobbit gifts. That's right, during the Yule season, some Hobbit presents will come with bonus Yule gifts. These include avatar cosmetics, cosmetic pets, baubles, and housing decorations. And I did get a mount in. Actually, I got a old, I guess, old Yule's Pass or something like that Hobbit present, which had I could select what I wanted there, so I took them out from the box. But I had other other little things in there also that have been in past years.
That made me think that the perfect fusion between cheesy, like a Christmas sweater and Lotro would be the having that be the Matham armor, where it's like your Matham armor for wintertime is like a big knitted sweater with a big like stocking on it or snowman or something, or or my favorite passed out Hobbit from Winterhome.
Okay, yeah, you want one for your house.
Oh, I think every house should have a passed out Hobbit during the holidays.
Right,
It should be a tradition.
a tradition. Traditional passed out hobbits.
Put the stocking up, put the tree up, get the Hobbit over.
Okay. Speaking of which, then you want to be on special guard for next week's patch because after next week's patch, they'll be coming up with the Winter Festival Open.
Well, of course, that will be the. I'm like a moth to the flame with that one.
We're like the moth to the flake. Let's now go into news and notes for our update. In-game group contest has been updated for the release of Moria in the new legendary servers. Base health, mitigations, and damage have been increased for most monsters found within level 52 to 60 in-game instances, including those within the Mines of Moria and Lothlorien content clusters. In a handful of boss fights, more targeted adjustments were made to improve the gameplay experience. This is intended to combat player power creep over the years and should keep those instances harder to complete without full groups when played on level. In other words, if you think you're going to walk over the instances in Moria on the Legendary Worlds, think again.
I guess that's good because it wasn't a walk in the park when it first came out either. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember having to plan. You're basically like, okay, it's going to take me an hour to get in here,
Right.
work my way in. I got to do my thing, and then it's going to take me an hour to get out.
An hour to get out?
Well, okay, you know what? When you retell the story, you exaggerate a little bit. Jeez,
Oh, okay.
I can't believe you're holding me accountable to actually being truthful.
I'm sorry. I take things literally
Or
sometimes.
represent things with accuracy. I mean, holy moly.
All right. Now, in case you didn't know, the Moria instances are the Forgotten Treasury, which is 6 players, the Grand Stair, 6 players, the Forges of Khazad-dûm, 6 players, Filgashan, 6 players, the 16th Hall, 6 players, Scumfill, 6 players, Dark Delvings, 6 players, Filiku, 12 players, and the Vile Maul, 12 players.
I remember the Grand Stair. That was I had been after my kin had kind of dissolved. I'd been playing solo for a long time, and that was my reintroduction to group content. I was doing Grand Stairs over and over and over and over and over and over. But it was awesome too. It was a lot of
Okay.
fun.
And for the Lothlorien instances, we have the Waterworks of Naladum, which is 3 players, the Mirror Halls of Lumilnar, 3 players, the Halls of Crafting, 6 players, and Dar Narvagud, which is 12 players. So those instances have been updated and tweaked so that it will be more challenging if you are on level. Also, we discovered an issue with the new reputation system where the applied bonuses were starting and stopping. We have rectified this issue and the functionality will be restored as follows. Then they go through this whole thing about all that they did here, and apparently it is still not quite working right.
Is it really to symbolize that your reputation can be fleeting? That you
Well,
can have a good reputation and then you say the wrong thing and then boom, everything's done.
maybe that's what it's symbolizing or something like that. But any
Or
case,
maybe it's symbolizing a glitch.
it could be symbolizing a glitch instead, yes. I suspect that it's some sort of glitch. So they are still trying to work on that, and I think they're hoping to have that fixed for next Wednesday's patch, but you know how things but you know how things go sometimes. I'm
Oh
sure
yeah.
you've encountered bugs that are very, very elusive.
Some of them are quite enjoyable if you get around to it. Remember when we were capable, because I don't think we can do it anymore. Remember when we were capable of getting on the roofs in Bree of the Prancing Pony, and I want to say people could get on the one like the south gate too, get up on the buildings there. Those are glitches that were meant something. So it was
Well,
cool. You'd
there
look down on everybody.
yeah, there are probably some roofs that you could still get into there where they didn't bother fixing it because there was no place dangerous you could get from there. But I think that there are some locations where if you fell into a Neverland between two buildings,
Yeah.
that you could have your entire character lost.
Oh,
So
that would be so horrible too to think
yeah,
about. I fell off a roof and lost everything.
yeah, fell off a roof and lost everything. Better hope that was your level 10 character that was just starting, and not your level 150 character that
Yes.
was that was doing tier 5 raids.
Yeah, you couldn't come back with a reclaim either, right? So what was that? That's the command, right? Reclaim to
Well, reclaim is the command that when you've got your character,
yeah, you just would hope that there might be a reclaim
yeah,
character who fell through world.
yeah. Well, unfortunately, I don't think there's a reclaim for characters. You're just hoping that slash stuck gets you, or
That's
unstuck,
right.
or whatever you type in, it manages to be able to get you to your proper location in there. Know what slash reclaim does is it fills your inventory with lots of stuff.
Oh yes, yeah. Just creating a new character. I mean, they're not new anymore. I mean, they basically come with a trust fund when you create them.
Yes.
Now you know. You got two of these and seven of these and four of those. And
Yes, all these coffers and all these things from expansions and everything you possibly think of. Yes,
well, and that just brings it home. That's just incredible how long you and I have been playing this game, man.
on this
A
gen,
significant portion of our lives. I'm sorry about that.
yeah, I would say a significant portion of our lives is probably accurate in there. All right. How about we then look at the Moria Stable Masters, which has the Moria Stable Network has been revamped for Update 42.2, where all current Stable Masters now have more robust lists of normal and swift travel routes to help players traverse Moria. Several new Stable Master destinations are now available in areas of Moria to help support players accessing and returning to out of the way questing destinations. The Vile Mall, Nameless Places, and Hunun Medin instances and the 21st Hall now form a Moria Instance Cluster Swift Travel Network. And a new far ranging Stable Master has been added to the 21st Hall for all travel routes leading out of Moria.
It's quite nice.
So now the destinations, I think, from the far-ranging Stable Masters already existed within the original Stable Master in the 21st Hall, but things were just getting so busy in there. It's like you feel like you're scrolling forever to get in there. So they decided to split them off, put the far-ranging stuff in a separate Stable Master, and just the inside Moria stuff then goes to the main Moria Stable Master. But yeah, that's nice that they have that separate. And remember that there is a third Stable Master in Moria also, which takes you to the various mission locations.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So that takes care of that. So let's go into items. Most instance and raid armor sets from level 60 to 100 will once again allow you to barter for pieces even if your current class is not able to equip them, allowing you to
Cool.
place these items in your wardrobe despite not being equipable.
That's some good thinking right there. Because sometimes I don't want to wear this. I just want to put it on my character for cosmetic purposes.
Yeah, endgame equipment for level 60 has been revised, and some items now are slightly different stats to better reflect current class designs. Mariners now have a 6 set of rare instance equipment that you can acquire with Medallions of Moria, since these sets now confirm class based bonuses. The minor 3-piece set rare sets found on the same vendors are still shared with burglars. So yes, so the 6 set of rare instance equipment that you get from So in other words, there's now a Mariner set in Moria because there probably wasn't one before.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because of course you're gonna have sailing ships sailing around there
Yeah, don't tell me how the ships get around inside of Moria.
slowly. I would think. Yeah, with a great deal of effort.
And I could just imagine how the wardens and the hunters get their port to the 21st Hall. Do mariners get a port to the Vile Mall or the Waterworks?
There we go. The waterworks, duh.
The
They
word,
could,
yeah,
they could bring a dinghy to the waterworks. That would be
yeah, yeah.
that would be a hilarious, just passive attribute of a mariner is that they could deploy a dinghy at any time.
All right. And the rare 6-piece instance sets acquired with Medallions of Moria now cost 5, 7, or 10 medallions per piece, previously 4 medallions. Yeah, it looks like the price has gone up. Several new music tracks have been added to the stories from the Valley of Ikorban themes in the Valley of Ikorban landscape themes housing music boxes. The new Warden Ikerbani spear carving now also increases light damage, and its bleeds bonus is improved to 5%, up from 3%. The new Warden Ikerbani shield carving now correctly increases shield gambit healing instead of bleed damage. Yeah, that sounds proper. And also increases light damage. And the new Minstrel DPS instrument, Woe Singer, now correctly gives plus 3.5% Coda crit chance in addition to its existing bonuses. And Burglar Signals now give more appropriate Fellowship maneuver bonuses. The blue signal now gives +1 to guile, gives plus to guile. Red signal gives you plus to strength, and yellow signal gives plus to conviction. The Dune Hunter leggings now correctly give tactical mastery rather than physical mastery. For the legendary server Ring Wraith event, for those who have not gone inside of Moria yet, I presume, Ring Wraith health has been reduced by about 30%. Ring Wraith skill damage has been reduced, particularly for the high spike skills, for example, Umbral Nova and Shadowlance. Wraith portals now last for 30 minutes. The Wraith Arena will now teleport all players out shortly after victory or time has expired. There is no restriction to players re-entering the portal after victory or defeat inside one, only that they cannot claim another victory for about 3 hours after a win. And, as a rule, you should give the portal about 30 seconds to clear out a layer after it empties out, or you may accidentally re-enter one that they're trying to get rid of. In other words, don't jump inside.
But now I want to.
No, don't just start when it's shutting down. It's sort of like, in other words, I haven't finished all the shutdown stuff, so you don't want to be stuck in there and then lose your place and trying to get into a real one, right?
Well,
Accumulated dread no longer falls off with death. If you allow them to accumulate, you'll become exceedingly fragile as the fight progresses.
I thought death was a release from pain. Not a continued accumulation.
You gotta remember, we're dealing with Nazgul here.
That's right.
Glimmers of Hope no longer have a limit to how many players may use them at a time. Arena layers no longer reset after victory, but should shut down fairly quickly after players are gone. Glimmers of Hope now heal 10% morale per second, and the lesser rings will now only drop for players within 2 levels of the current level cap, which is now, of course, 58 to 60. I don't know how those instances are supposed to work in relationship to the changed level cap and all of that stuff when you consider that the most of the players who are going to be triggering Nazgul events, I will presume, are going to be below level 50, because those above level 50 are going to be in Moria. And in Moria, I thought they were getting Orc Assassins instead of raids and all that stuff. And maybe someday I'll have an understanding of exactly what they're doing in relation to that. So let's go into instances. The rarest barter items from the new instances, carapace pieces, glistering files, and burial tokens, now drop as fellowship tradable items, which must be opened to add them to your barter wallet. This will mean that groups can choose to redistribute these barter drops amongst the players who completed the instance, but also means that you may need to be on the lookout for these items in your pending inventory.
That's pretty cool, though.
Yeah. The Eagerbound Instance Barter Exchange now trades crafting materials for sandworm tokens at a 1-to-1 ratio, half the cost as they were before. Okay. The Ashanug, Fane of the Accursed. Kizardol's damage has been reduced slightly. Increase the frequency at which torches will remove the shadow buff from scorpions. The crippling sting debuff now has a movement slow. Toxic clouds no longer tear up their dots immediately when you enter the area. They will still tear up if you linger in them for more than 2 seconds. Venomous Sting 4 can now be cleansed down to Venomous Sting 3. Reduced serrated strikes damage over time potency. In the Anaki Ensemble Boss 2 encounter, Kizardol's damage has been reduced significantly. Sharatu's damage has been reduced slightly. Hashuga's damage has been reduced slightly. Vicious Scorpion damage has been reduced slightly. And Prowling Scorpion morale has been reduced slightly. Checkpoints have been added to Ashunug, the Fane of the Cursed, before the second and third boss encounters, so that you don't have to run all the way back up, I guess, if you wipe or something like that. Nirgumbar, the Restless Tomb. Standard mobs in this instance no longer have baseline crowd control immunity. All 3 bosses are now immune to fellowship maneuvers. Cavernous Shout has been reworked under the hood and should now behave as expected. It will only deal damage while the boss is actively channeling. Cavernous Shout damage has been reduced slightly. Sakashag health has been decreased by 25%. Aim Noctura damage has been increased by 15%. Cursed Spirit inductions now have an additional 0.5 delay before they begin. Cursed Spirits should now be reliably start inducting when they're supposed to have after they spawn. Added a warning shout to Sakashag that occurs right before he begins Cavernous Shout. An aura of death radius increased by 0.1 meter. The corner of the platform is no longer safe.
No.
And as for tool Zakana, the Well of Forgetting, a 1-second delay has been added to Consuming Fire in Well of Forgetting Boss 1. A 5-second duration has been added to the consuming fire hotspot. Bahadring's health has been increased by 50%. Gorthrog Devastator's health is increased by about 15%. Reduce the damage of Find Enemy slightly. Reduce the damage of Spear of Shadow slightly. Gorthrog Crusher damage mod reduced from times 0.7 to times 0.6. This does not impact their tank buster skills. Memory of Contempt now reduces Bahadring's incoming damage more than before. This should make it more imperative for players to remove the memory via the Waters of Forgetting. Players should now reliably gain a skill each time that they leave the Well of Forgetting, only one per pull of a lever. Several fixes have been implemented to prevent cases of players getting stuck on death during the Moth Bahora fight. Several effects are now cleansed properly from when enemies are standing in the Well of Forgetting in the Bahadring and Unmindful fight. Fixed a rare case where players could not progress if two groups of players separately restarted the Mook Bahora fight and simultaneously defeated the Utugi version of the Mook Bahora. Corrected an issue with the way that Balko targets players with Sickening Water and Mook Bahora Utugi Mook Bahora's Utugi form now has a warning induction when using Thrash.
I know.
With the Elf Avatar update, some overly exaggerated facial features have been reduced in certainly most for human, elf, and high elf male and female avatars, and a bug has been corrected that caused high elf avatars to have a larger physics scale than other races. High elves can now move through the same low ceiling environments as elves and humans. As for classes, for the Bjorning, the new Slam Heal now benefits from outgoing healing modifiers. I guess that makes sense. For the Brawler, fixed a missing connection in the Brawler's fulcrum specializations so that they now correctly gain bonuses threats generation from damaging skills, and Mighty Upheaval's radius has been increased from 7 meters to 10 meters. For the Captain, Rowdy Cry's radius has been increased from 7 meters to 10 meters. How do you think about that?
Excellent.
Right. For the Champion, fix the tooltip display issue with the dual wield buff from Redline's Weapon Master, and the insignia of the Shigani Blade Wall bonus now gives plus 7 seconds invincible adamant duration rather than plus 10 seconds invincible duration. This means that the effect now buffs your defensive bonus significantly at the cost of 3 seconds from the original offensive bonus. For the Guardian, reactive parry damage has been renamed to Parry Chain Skill Damage to better reflect the skills that it impacts. For the Hunter, Penetrating Bleed, the Barbed Bleed upgrade, now deals about 36% more damage. For the Lore Master, Gust of Wind now properly benefits from the bonuses of Gust of Wind damage. Yeah, I would think that Gust of Wind should benefit from that. And for the Runekeeper, fix the tooltip display issue with Linod of Flame. For PvMP, for the Reaper, Glory and Victories tooltip now correctly states that it is enhanced by a defeat event rather than requiring a defeat event. And for the War Leader, Banner of Terror now correctly reduces the range and tactical damage by 15%. Ambush and Marching Orders can now be used while swimming. Quitter's Die now correctly consumes Clinging Fear. And White Hot Whip has now correctly classified as a melee skill, but still deals fire damage. And custom music has been added to the Dog Catcher Part 3, the Dog Catcher Part 4, and Salve for a Ravished Land Part 5. A new landscape track can now be heard in any of the outdoor areas of Ikerban and Kordun, and the Golden Sanctuary now also have a custom track. Improved quest flow and animations for the Emular quest, Dog Catcher Part 4. The Bucket Rook is looking for in natural refreshment should once again appear properly. Fixed text error on superior tools of the Umbari Armsman stating an incorrect Forester chopping duration. Fixed a typo for Scholar Scrolls in the Umbar Guild recipes that that improperly stated that they were jeweler recipes. Yeah, that does sound like a slight error there. Gunabad Moat worthy crafts now have their recipes auto-granted to players with the Gunabad crafting tiers unlocked. Small stone frills in Moria have been updated. Stuck spots in Umbar Mulk have been fixed. Good. Fixed radar in Dil Irmes. Fixed the painting floating off the wall in Hubo Clayhanger's house. Made it somewhat easier to obtain the Lion's Roar. Note that this change will version the deed, so any progress will be lost. Bingo's dialogue has been restored to the instance Bingo's Burden in week 36 of the Ballad of Bingo's Boffin. Generic voice over audio has been corrected on Shigani and Kintai fishing trainers and furnishers. Ikerban Valley tasks are now available from the neighborhood task boards listed on the level 141 to 150 quests. Okay, that's good that they're now available at the neighborhoods. For German, typos in the German world map have been corrected. For the mounts, Oryx no longer plays horse sounds and instead has sounds that are more appropriate for the animal. I really should listen more carefully to my Oryx then. Fixed a long-standing bug where sound effects in the Path of the Dead will get stuck on the player until a subsequent log out and back in. We made a quality of life adjustment to the new reputation containers that you could find on the landscape for the Tail Wardens and Kintai factions. The change allows you now use the containers while mounted. Alright. It also corrected the following known issues. Inaccessible treasure caches in Urishtar can now be reached. The sellable items found in the reputation containers on the Legacy of Morgoth expansion will now appropriate filter into junk carryalls. The Battle for Hootbolt and drama sequence has been repaired, and the instance should once again be completable. The instance, short of stature, great indeed, is once again completable. The session, the point of decision, is once again completable, and reduce the overall exaggerated facial features of certain emotes for humans, elves, and females. Did they say that one before? But there are some new. Unfortunately, there are some new known issues. Boo. Rotating an undocked quick slot bar and then scaling bars will display properly for that session, but upon subsequent login, the bars will not display their full image. I'm not exactly sure what I just said there.
Yeah, I don't really the undocked rotating quick slot bar. I can envision that.
Yeah, that's the. Also, Brawler Rift gear has been inadvertently changed to be Captain Specific. This will be corrected in the next game update, which will be, I guess, the one on next week on Wednesday.
All things should be Captain specific.
Yes. Well, I was actually last night at Friday Night Fights. I think it was was it Friday? I know, or was this Wednesday? This might have been Wednesday but I was questing with a brawler, and they're saying, "Wait a minute, why don't I have any equipment?" because they had just went to the skirmish camp and bought a full set of rift gear, which
Oh my goodness.
and so all their equipment became unequipped because it was labeled for a captain instead of for a brawler. Yeah, we need that to get fixed.
One of those moments where you question yourself. What
Yes.
do you mean I was naked?
You'll Hobbit presents cosmetic armor and the Warring Horse Lords. Some parts of the armor aren't sliding correctly, making it impossible to see or use the armor as an outfit. This will be corrected in the next gaming update. Yeah, right. Well, that's what we have for update
Hooray.
42.2.
That wasn't too bad.
And, right, that's not a very long one. Good. And we do have more news, and that is that SSG is looking for some moderators for their upcoming official Discord server.
Pine?
What?
Should that be calling for you?
I don't think so. I let's just say that been a, I've been moderators for similar types of systems in the past, and maybe it's not my calling. Is probably my best way of saying it. So yeah, I don't think that'll come out all too well. So my guess is probably not. But anyway, as right, LOTRO is finally going to be getting a Discord server. From Cordovan, we are looking forward to opening our first official Lord of the Rings Online Discord, and we are looking for some members of the community to volunteer to assist. Since Discord is an always on text and voice communication tool, we are hoping to gather volunteers to help keep an eye on things. We are required by law to not provide formal compensation for your volunteer service, but you will be helping to make the official Discord happen. You'll have a direct communication with us, and we'll do our best to conduct periodic random giveaways for codes for volunteers. Volunteers will need to sign a legal document with us called a non-disclosure agreement. This agreement will be drafted by Daybreak's legal team, and you must agree to it in order to become a volunteer. This allows us to communicate with you as a moderator. You will need to provide us with personal information, including your real name and address, contact information, and game account username. So if you don't want to provide that information, and don't volunteer. Volunteer moderators will help me moderate the official Lord of the Rings online Discord by supporting our community rules, assigning roles, and being able to answer general questions. You will never be asked to volunteer during a certain time frame, and there will never be a schedule for moderators. You'll simply be around to help when your time permits and you are active in the Discord. To learn more about how to apply, there is a link that talks more about Discord. Becoming a Discord moderator, this is actually a Survey Monkey thing. They go into more details of what you should do, what you can do, and all of that. And then it asks you 8 questions, and this is that personal information that they were asking before that you'll need to do. Meaning your legal name, your physical address, your primary contact phone number, your primary contact email address, what game account username, your forum display name if applicable, your Discord account name, because they can't make you a moderator if you don't tell them what your account is, and what is your preferred Discord channel display name, the name that you plan to use on the Discord if you know it. Because your account name and your display name can be different things. And that is the list. Now, The display names, number 6 and number 8 on that list, are optional because you might not have a preference in the matter, but the other 6 are mandatory in filling out this form. We have not yet announced the official open date for the Discord, but we are expecting it to open in the coming weeks. There will be text and voice chat. We look forward to getting more information to you about the Discord soon. Now, according to Cordovan, when they did this on the DDO side, once they got the ball rolling and asking for volunteers, things went more quickly than they had been expecting. So they it's possible it could actually be up and running by the end of the year. But they need to have the volunteers and have them all sorted out before they could open up the channel. So that's probably going to be the biggest thing that has to be done in setting this all up. So, are you planning on volunteering?
Uh, hmm.
Don't know
I
yet.
think. Well,
You
I
probably don't
think
have
that this
time.
might be. This might be. Well, yeah, that's the work's unfortunately
Yes.
overwhelming. But this could give me the type of access I need to finally get what I desire, which is a Dragok trampling war steed. I
I
need a war dragon.
I don't think that they will be able to get you one of those for being a moderator on the Discord.
No, don't you? I didn't even get 5 seconds with my dream, and you destroyed it.
Sorry, I wanted to make sure it didn't get so overblown that when it
I
popped,
couldn't even.
that
I
it
couldn't
would.
even have shed a single tear of joy for just thinking about it. You
Instead,
had to,
you get into your sadness instead.
yeah, you had to schmeagle me.
Oh well, sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be interesting, but what was hysterical was we had a kinmate who was one of the more um, acerbic, disruptive voices in the forums, and so listening to how he would express his outrage on the forums, you're just like, do I really want to deal with that? But who
Well,
knows? It might
yeah,
be. It could be interesting too. It's. I mean,
yeah. That's the thing is, it could get things can get hot at times. Now,
yeah.
right now, they don't expect things to get too hot, and the reason for that is because DDO, whose forums, from everything I heard, can get more more fire hot than LOTRO's forums do, and they have not had too many problems on the Discord side.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, then that would
So
be.
they're not expecting yes, there are going to be problems and all that stuff because you know what happens inevitably when you put a lot of people together, but I don't think they're expecting things to get ultra bad or anything like. Now, I think that in order to join the Discord server, they are going to be asking a couple of questions that not all Discord servers are going to ask. In that, I think I forgot what, but there are, but a couple of security questions that they are going to be asking if you join the server. And at first, everyone was grumbling about that on the DDO side until everyone figured out is, wait a minute, why are there no gold spammers here?
Yeah, isn't that beautiful? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
that's why they put that in. Yeah. So, so there may have, so they may have a couple extra steps that you don't necessarily have on all Discord servers, simply because they they're hoping that will curb down the number of gold spammers that you get. Well, we'll see. Now, available for a limited time, patrons coffers of the Rohirrim.
That
And
sounds incredibly fancy.
yeah,
Better not be packed with Matham armor.
no, it is not packed with Matham armor. You could click on the article in the show notes in order to have a look at them. But
Excellent.
as usual, there are three levels. We have a simple coffer, we have an enhanced coffer, and we have a luxuriant coffer. For the simple coffer of the Rohirrim, you will get a 100 mithril coins and the award to every character on your account forever, the title of the Rohirrim, and the patron's simple cosmetic coffer of the Rohirrim, which includes a cloak of the Rohirrim and a ceremonial sword of the Rohirrim. So, so you get a cloak and a sword.
I joined the Rohirrim, and all I got was this lousy cloak.
Well then, maybe then you want an enhanced coffer of the Rohirrim, where you are awarded once per account to. First of all, the thing that's awarded once per account is instead of 100 mithril, it'll be 250 mithril instead. And you'll also get 2500 virtue XP with a lesser elixir of virtue. And award to every character on your account, you'll get the same of the Rohirrim title, plus also the title Rohan's Shield. And for your patrons, enhanced cosmetic coffer of the Rohirrim, in addition to the cloak and the sword, you'll also get a weapon aura of the Rohirrim for your sword and a ceremonial shield of the Rohirrim, so that you'll have something in your offhand.
This
So,
just sounds like more and
right.
more inventory space is being taken up by
Yeah.
stuff.
So I guess if you're a lore master, the sword will be going into your offhand instead, right?
Of course, I'm interested in what the weapon aura is like too. So
Well, there is an image of it in the.
okay, I'm gonna take a look.
Look at that. Maybe Fibro Jedi is going to get some videos out that's going to show so you can see what it looks like in videos. Since of course this is a still image showing what it looks like. They don't always do justice to sword auras. And on top of that, you will get the herding dog of the Rohirrim. And it's a big dog. And an image of the dog is right at the bottom of the article. And yeah, it's very big because I called one up on my Hobbit, and of course it's let's just say
Did you put a saddle on it and ride it, basically?
it looks like it's big enough to do that. And for the patrons, the luxuriant coffer of the Rohirrim, this is the ultra deluxe one. Then for the mithril, it's not 100 or 250, it's 500 mithril coins. And you get 15,000 virtue XP, so this is 6 of those lesser elixirs of virtue. And given to all your characters, you get the title of the Rohirrim, and of course the Rohan shield that you got from the second coffer, but you also get Rise to War. And the Rise to War goes not only to your freak players, but also goes to your monster players. The patron's luxuriant cosmetic coffer of the Rohirrim includes, of course, the cloak I spoke of earlier, and also the sword and shield and aura I spoke of earlier, but it also includes a hooded cloak of the Rohirrim if you prefer that over to a regular cloak, and also boots of the Rohirrim, gauntlets of the Rohirrim, helm of the Rohirrim, shoulder guards of the Rohirrim, armor of the and armor of the Rohirrim. So you get a nice full set of armor in there. It's chain armor. And the steed of the Rohirrim and war steed of the Rohirrim will, of course, get an accessory of the Rohirrim, a caparison of the Rohirrim, headpiece of the Rohirrim, leg guards of the Rohirrim, and, of course, a saddle of the Rohirrim for your war steed. And, of course, you will get the herding dog as you get with the previous set. And finally, a milestone skill of the Rohirrim slash milestone Rohan, but unfortunately, this is currently not working. So, in order to keep people from trying to use it, they have given it a minimum skill of 160. They're hoping to have this corrected for next Wednesday's patch so that you will be able to use this new milestone skill. I have no idea what's in this milestone skill, but I'm guessing it might involve maybe like jumping onto a horse and riding away or something like that, which could explain why they had so much difficulty getting it to work.
Boy, that dog looks the dog looks really cool too. That's a
Yeah.
I like that style of dog, I guess. You know, the
And,
good thing for us is that, well, not maybe not for you, but for me is that being able to purchase virtue, I finally have a way to earn it finally in my life. So
the indulgences of LOTRO. All right. As I said before, we are expecting another patch next week. Uh, this will include the correction to the milestone. I am hoping, and I mean it will have to because the patrons, if they don't do it this week, they can't postpone until the 18th because the Rohirrim Patrons Conference will no longer be available after the 18th. But anyway, so they're expecting a patch next week in order to fix that, and also, of course, to introduce the Yuletide Festival, which will be starting, and that means you will be ready to go and check on your favorite Hobbit.
partying with my friends
Yes.
or my friend.
And finally, for the game news, if you have a character on Siranan, there is going to be a music festival there over the winter solstice. This is going to be for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from the December 20th through December 22nd. So that's a 3-day musical event going over in there. And looks like, see, on Friday it'll be from noon until, well, the last, 7, 3, 8, until 9 o'clock. And then on Saturday from 10 a.m. through, let's see, was it? Okay, through, so actually 7:30 is what the last one was. Okay, I'm looking at this, I'm misreading this. Okay, yes, so, yeah, so the Friday one ends at 8 o'clock, it looks like. The Saturday one looks like 10 a.m. through 9 o'clock, and then on Sunday it will be from 11:30 till 8 o'clock in there. So quite a 3 days worth of music going on all about there. And this is going to be on Saranan at Thorn's Gate. So a place you can get to at a low level that has snowy terrain, I believe is why they, of course, they would choose that for the winter festival, for the winter concert in there.
Perfect. Well, it's kind of I think it detracts from your concert when a subsection of your concert goers are getting continually attacked.
Yeah. So unless you have a very, very starting character, like unless you have a single digit level character, you're probably not going to have to worry about getting attacked when you're at Thorn's Gate. Yes. So that will be on the Saranin server. And let's see, and after that we have store sales. What's on sale this week?
Well, December deals begin. I wish I could have had jingle bells just in the background when I said that. Special deals every week in the Lotro store in December. This week, you're going to get 50% off Valor packs, 35% off Mithril coins, and that's going to be through December 12th. Unleash your potential. Get 30% off deed boosts, universal solvents, universal morale, and power potions, and that's through December 12th as well. There is a free For the weekly coupon, there's a free 10% run speed boost times 5 for 6 hours. And the coupon code is go, 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 go. So five, is 5 goes in a row.
Yeah.
And that's through December 12th as well.
All right. So there's one go for each copy of the run speed boost that you get.
Whoa. Okay. I didn't even put that together. That's the caffeine wore off a long time ago. So.
Well, then, let's see what you were doing in gaming last week. What have you been up to?
Well, it was another incredibly busy week for work. Unexpectedly, so like I explained to you earlier, we've found out that basically 75% of our team was out on vacation this week. So, made things extra spicy, but I did get to hang out with the kin. Basically, kind of looking at what I'm going to need to do to become current for rating, as I have fallen a little bit behind. And I'm trying not to be consumed by the feeling that I'm screwed right now, but
That bad.
but anyways, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad. But I know that there's definitely I'm going to have to take a very serious look at my legendaries
Yeah.
and figure out what I want to do with them going forward.
And
So
you want them to be polished because you need to be able to do the new instances because you do have at least the 6 you need to really get up to snuff in that one so you'll be ready for when the next raid comes out.
and there we go. Yeah. So I know I got some intimidating work. I'm just hoping maybe the holiday. So it's busy right now, but the hope is that maybe it's going to be calmer as we get closer to the holiday. But other than that, I took a little look at this kind of like a sandbox like diorama builder, like fantasy diorama builder called Lost Delayed. It was kind of interesting. And then a little weird game called Buckshot Roulette, which was
Buckshot roulette.
yeah, you're playing Russian roulette with a shotgun. So you know
Wait,
that
wait, wait, what?
there's a number of live rounds and blank rounds, and so they're loaded into the shotgun in a random order, and then you're going back and forth. Either so yeah. So anyways, yeah, exactly. That's your reaction was perfect because it's just a strange little game. So it was
Russian
kind of
roulette with a shot. How does? Well, it must be a sawed-off shotgun if you're playing Russian roulette.
well now that's one of the options you have. So eventually you get to the point where in the competition where you'll start to get items that you can like steal somebody else's items, or you can take a magnifying glass and look at what round is currently chambered. You can eject a round. So there's a lot of different things you can do. So it's just kind of one of those, it's like a Tetris. It always struck me. It's like Tetris is just pretty straightforward. So
Yeah.
people are like, oh yeah, this is a pretty simple game. It's like, yeah, and then you spend 12 hours playing it without even realizing you were playing it for 12 hours. Oh my god, what do you mean it's 2 in the morning? So that was my week in gaming. Hopefully, more gaming coming up as the holidays, because you think that would go hand in hand. But Pine Leaf, what did you get up to?
All right, we begin with my Rune Keeper, where on Wednesday is my usual thing where we have the our group that's going through the content with the Hardened Traveler challenge in there. We're going as a group all the way through there. Well, this is our off week on there, and usually on the off week we try to make up. But since no one there needed to make up anything, what we did is that a few of us got together, had 150s together, and we ran the Isle of Storm in there. And I don't think any of us had ever completed Isle of Storms in a 3-player. So we had in our group, let's see, I was on a Runekeeper. We had a Warden in the group, and the third was a champion. We had a lot of trouble with the crocodile at the beginning, but we eventually were able to get through the crocodile, and we managed to get through the other 2 bosses without wiping, which was really nice. In fact, I think the third one, everybody survived the fight. Now, of course, it did require, let's say, generous usage of Do Not Fall.
That's good. That's exactly what it's there for. That's exactly what it's there for.
Yeah. So this week I was getting a little bit better on my healing for my Runekeeper. And so I was in healing mode so that I could have Do Not Fall with its nice long duration instead of that ultra short one that you get when you're in the lightning stance where it was just too short to do anything. So anyway, I was in there. I was able to do just enough damage when needed to in order to help to finish things off when we were like on that final run to push to get the boss. So everything I think worked out fairly well in there. So we managed to finish that little thing. Now my Runekeeper also joined Cinders when we are questing in the new area. So we were doing various quests. We're in the second of the regions that we have in there. So I think we finished off the first one and then we were starting out on the second area there. So we're making pretty good progress through the content there. Now my Warden on Angmar is working on preparing to go into Moria. So I just hit level 45. So now I'm doing that class quest where you got to go all over the place and kill various things. And what's going to be tough there is that the skirmish camps just opened up on Wednesday when they had the. One of the things they didn't mention in the update notes is that skirmishes were now available on those two legendary worlds, and they weren't before. So of course I have virtually no marks on my character at the moment, so I can't just go, oh, I'm doing my class quest there. I go and do the first round. Now let's go and use my skirmish marks to get the fight. What do you mean I don't have any skirmish marks? Oh well, we'll have to see what I can do about that. Probably have to run a few skirmishes in order to be able to finish that quest because I'm certainly not going to go in Karn Doom in order to do it.
Well, you're the skirmish master, anyways.
Right? Yeah, I'm the skirmish master, so I do. And since the character I'm running on there is called Pineleaf, I certainly can't go without doing skirmishes, right? As for news beyond LOTRO, there's a little movie called The War of the Rohirrim opening on Friday. So if you are interested in seeing an anime take on the incident with Helm Hammerhand and Wolf and all that stuff, the one that, well, how the Rohirrim just loved to tell the story of Helm on how great he was, and of course the Dudleys like to tell the story of how horrific Helm was. You know, Helm the Hated, I believe, is what Nona called Helm when at one point. So you can see they have very, very different points of view of the heroics or whatever of Helm in there. So this is their take on the War of the Rohirrim. And that is opening at Friday in some theaters. We'll see how that works out. And we do not have any emails this week, but if you like this one, you can send it to podcast at LoachPlayers.com. The Players Alliance has two shows on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have Loach Players News and re-record DDO Players News when Drac is available. Though Drac is also starting another podcast that he and Cordovan do called Record Players. And there they talk about things like vinyl and also other media also, but their strongest emphasis is on vinyl. And who knows when that comes out. And that is all for tonight. And this is Piling Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.